You're watching Burning Hot Topics. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. And this story right here is coming out of Alabama, in which you have a former police officer who basically was living a double life, and it resulted in him killing his girlfriend and the unborn kid because she was 7 months pregnant at the time he shot her. Now, I'm going to get into this article coming from Law and Crime, where this individual going by the name of David McCoy, he was 29 years old. Uh, so, January 7th, 2022, he shot and killed Courtney Spriggins, who was 26 years old. That's the woman that's on the left of the thumbnail, while she was in her car. A second count of murder was for allegedly killing her and the unborn kid. The third count was killing a kid under the age of 14. So he faces 3 counts of capital murder. Spriggins was 7 months pregnant when she died. Her mother described a fractured long-distance relationship between the young woman, a North Carolina resident, and McCoy, who worked for the Huntsville Police Department in Alabama. Now, this was the thing. So he shoots this woman in the head. He called the 911 saying that he heard a shot and that he saw that this woman was shot in the head, that she died by suicide. Okay, how do you know she died by suicide? That's the first red flag. Second, there was a photo of him in the car with her. Right? Second red flag. So he was arrested and was placed on administrative leave. I didn't know why they didn't fire him right off rip. Then other reports said that he didn't report to work for 3 straight days. And based on that, he was fired on January the 13th. But my thing is, if you already got him in custody, how could you not know that he wasn't coming to work? If you already got him in custody for an alleged murder, you guys are incompetent. Goddamn going, Huntsville Police Department, you guys are dumb as fuck. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You guys are dumb as fuck. You saying, oh well, he hadn't shown up to work for 3 days, but yet y'all was the same department that arrested him. Anyway, the couple met on Tinder. Spriggins, the mother of 2 young children, dropped by to visit McCoy when she visited her kids down in Georgia. After her visitation in North Carolina, on her way back, she would go to Alabama to spend maybe, being facetious here, about 5 seconds with the guy. That's what the mother said. He never spent a lot of time with her. The relationship involved an initial pregnancy, but Spriggins suffered a miscarriage. Walter claimed that there was one incident in which McCoy, who was unhappy about the pregnancy, took Spriggins out to a cornfield while armed with his gun and said he was going to die by suicide. Distressed, Spriggins moved in with her parents in Maryland, but McCoy convinced her to return. So you got the mom coming out and said that, she saw all the red flags and she didn't like where it was going. Now, Huntsville police reportedly said that Spriggins at first joined McCoy in Huntsville on December 17, 2021, after quitting her job, but he allegedly told her that he needed more time. Now, why would he tell her that he needed more time? I know why he needed more time, because he was living with his fiance. That's why he needed more time. That's why he needed more time, because the man was already engaged to get married to another woman. Mm-mm-mm. Authorities claim that when Spriggins texted him about what she was supposed to do, he wrote a bullet to the head sounds good to me. That's what he said. Then McCoy allegedly was already engaged to another woman, as I stated, but he eventually told Spriggins to return so that he could take care of her, and took care of her he did. Instead, the day Spriggins arrived on January 7th, McCoy shot her in the head, authorities said. Investigators claim McCoy told shifting stories about what happened and whether he even knew Spriggins, though eventually he allegedly confessed that he did it, in quotation marks. Mail addressed to Spriggins and also ultrasound pictures was also in the patrol car. His patrol car. Huntsville police fired McCoy, who was off duty during the shooting. Prosecutors were seeking the death penalty. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty on 3 counts of capital murder. Can't make this stuff up, man. He was already indicted by the grand jury. And that the apartment complex is located between Nance and Hughes Road, north of Highway 72, with the Madison mailing address, but is within Huntsville police jurisdiction. McCoy lived at a Western ranch and occasionally worked as a courtesy officer there. He was off duty at the time of the shooting. McCoy allegedly told 911 dispatchers that the woman, later identified as Spriggins, had committed suicide. Investigators said that Spriggins quit her job in December and arrived on Huntsville on December 17th. So here's more details behind this, right? So we talked about when Spriggins was going to come back and he was going to take care of her, right? So when she arrived on January 7th, McCoy buzzed into her gate of the apartment complex at 8:04 a.m. An investigator testified McCoy and Spriggins went for a drive in his truck and arrived back at the apartment complex at about 9:40 a.m. Okay, so between 8:04 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. in my estimation is when the alleged incident occurred. She added McCoy told several stories during his eventual police interview. The last version he gave was that Spriggins got out of the truck and got into her car. He apparently told Hayes he didn't remember how fast the shooting happened. He just remembers running with the gun up to his apartment. After the shooting, McCoy told investigators he called the HPD non-emergency number, asked if they had received any shots fired calls in the area. He had changed clothes, thrown the gun in the closet. He told the dispatcher that he'd been awakened by a gunshot from a small caliber gun. He said in the last version of his story that he got off the phone and went down to look into the gunshot. When investigators arrived at the scene, he noticed a photo of McCoy in the vehicle. Sources say investigators found text messages on the victim's phone, providing more detail on what led up to the incident. Investigators said that the first responding officer and McCoy began to look at the crime scene and found Spriggins shot in the head in the driver's seat of her car. McCoy told the first responding officer, I think I've seen her once, but told the other investigators that he didn't know her. Responding officers found a picture of McCoy in the visor of Spriggins' car and took him in for questioning, which lasted about 5 hours. At the end of the interview, McCoy said, "I did it," according to the testimony at the preliminary hearing. Investigators said McCoy tested positive for gun residue, and they found a pistol that was not his service weapon, and Spriggins locked his phone in the closet in the apartment. Investigators said because of the number of wrong passcode attempts on Spriggins' phone, investigators still could not get into the phone. They also found pictures of an ultrasound and mail addressed to Spriggins in the patrol vehicle. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. That's why I titled the video the way I did. And you're absolutely right, Day Love. That was crazy within itself. So he's been in jail ever since because his bond has gotten denied up until the trial. Now, we're going to follow this case on this channel. I might even talk about it on my main channel, but we're definitely going to follow up on this case because the trial hadn't got set yet. But when the trial do go down, we're going to break this thing down even further, and we're going to get more testimony as to what happened. But this man ain't never getting out. He's never going to get out of prison, ever. Whether he gets the death penalty or not, he will never see the light of day ever again. You killed a pregnant woman, all because you didn't want your fiance to find out that you was out here fucking around on her. Pardon my French. I'm telling you, man, you can't make this stuff up. Now, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. This is Burning Hot Topics. Peace.